Hello.
Arvind,
Hey, is it better
go
now?
ahead. Yeah, it's clear now. Please go ahead now. Share your
Okay.
screen and start your. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So, okay, again. Um, so we are now, um, I'll walk you through about what is an ERP. Okay. As I said, what we will do in ERP is basically the resources will be planned in an enterprise. Okay, enterprise can be a large organization which may have their companies across the globe or across the country. Okay, so
Sorry,
resource.
Arvind. Can you please share your screen?
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see the screen?
Take 1 second.
Yes.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So SAP is an ERP. Again, when I say ERP, it's a resource planning. And what do you mean by resources? Is basically people, cash, materials, machines, and etc. Okay, everything that requires a planning to run the enterprise will be under ERP. Okay, so to manage all this, for example, say somebody want to manufacture a cycle, and if they want to manufacture that, they have to procure many items from the vendors, right? And they have to assemble it and sell it to the customers. So many basically many activities are aligned in this process. So when we say that somebody is manufacturing the cycle, then manufacturing will fall into production planning, and to assemble that cycle, they need to go and get some raw materials, right? Like cycle tires, handle, seeds, etc. So all those procurement stuff will fall into the materials management. Okay, so production planning is ideally planning and execution of the manufacturing. Okay, and to manufacture something we need to buy some materials, right? So for example, just like, and am I audible again? I just don't want to uh,
Yes, Arvind. It's clear.
okay.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, and you can talk in between. Okay, it can be interactive session also. If you think that I'm going on too much of technical jargons, you can tell me that you want it in simple language, or if the speed is too fast, you can tell me to go slow. Okay, so please be interactive, and you can talk in between if you have any questions. Okay, and then so this is about planning, and if you want to manufacture something, for example, say cycle. Okay, let's assume that our industry is about cycle. Okay, they manufacture cycles and sell it to the customers. Okay, in this case you plan and execute the manufacturing, and to execute this manufacturing you need some raw materials like handles, seats, etc. So all those procurement from the vendors will be handled in materials management, which is also called as module. Okay, and to buy these products, you need a cash flow, correct? So for that cash flow, you will have finance and controlling modules. Okay, which is also called as FICO. And once this is done, once the cycles are manufactured, you have to sell those cycles, correct? So to sell those manufacturing, I mean the manufactured cycles, the marketing team needs to go and visit places like stores and the customers to sell their products. So all this will happen in basically SD module, which is also called as sales and distribution. Okay, and apart from this there are many other modules like quality, which is a kind of integrated module for all the modules. So what will happen in quality is basically at every point, whenever there is a manufacturing is in progress, or whenever we are procuring the materials from the vendor, the quality control has to be checked, And once the quality is passed, then only those materials will be allowed to flow into the next series of steps. So that's the reason we use quality, and in this session we will be going through the quality transactions as well. Okay, so in our sessions we will mainly highlight production planning and then quality management. Okay, until here, any questions about the generic understanding of what is production planning and quality management? Okay, so let's go to understand what is production planning. Okay, production planning, which is also called as PP, ideally used for manufacturing and planning. Okay, let's assume that we are working for a cycle manufacturing client whose company is Hero Cycles. Okay, and now just think in generic, okay, generic in scenarios, how they will produce or manufacture the cycles, right? So there are two or many scenarios in which they will plan to manufacture a cycle. Okay, so the general uh, technique of producing is basically used as make to order and make to stock. I will explain what are these scenarios. Okay, so when the Hero Cycles decide to produce or manufacture some cycle, there are two scenarios, as I said: make to order, make to stock. Any idea? I know, I mean, many people might have worked on these or gone through these kind of scenarios. Can anybody tell me what do you mean by make to order or make to stock? You can give a guess. That's fine. Okay, let me explain then.
Yeah, Arvind.
Yeah.
Arvind? Sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my name is Gajanan. So, make to order means the customer will give the requirement.
Mhm.
Through that, we will make the cycle assembled as per the customer requirement. Make to stock means it will be created in the bulk without interfering the client requirement. It will be created and it will be stored in the stock.
Absolutely. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. So as Gajanand explained, make to order is basically the client requirement. Okay. When you say client, I would say Hero is the company which will produce the cycle, okay, which will manufacture the cycle. And who can be the customers? It can be someone like, cycle clubs, okay, or some company who want to gift the cycles to then their employees. Let's say that Hindustan Unilever, okay, Hindustan Unilever is a organization, and for some festival they want to gift 3000 cycles to their employees, okay, on the eve of the festival, right? Then what will Hindustan Unilever will do is they will go to the Hero Cycles and get a quotation, understanding how much each cost, I mean, how much is the cost for each cycle, and then they given order to the Hero Cycles, right? So based on the customer order from Hindustan Unilever, they will give the specifications, and those specifications will be built by Hero Cycles, and they will deliver it to the Hindustan Unilever customer. Okay, this is called as make to order. Now, what is meant by make to stock? Okay, make to stock is nothing but basically they create some stock, meaning they produce some 10,000 cycles every year, okay, and send it to the local stores, irrespective of whether they have an order existing customer or not. They will distribute 10,000 cycles to local stores, okay, say 100 each in 10 or how many ever stores, okay, and they will sell after they get these cycles into the stores. That is called as make to stock. And make to stock is basically done on forecast. Okay, forecast meaning assuming how much cycles will be required in each season. Okay, for example, say let's move out of the cycle scenario. Let's think about some sweaters. Okay, if you are working for a client called H&M, for example. H&M is a clothes manufacturer, right? And how they forecast is basically in the winter they will take make to stock for all the winter wear clothes, and they will produce them in bulk. Okay, and similarly in the summer they will be producing all the swimming suits and other stuff, okay, which are suitable for summer. So that is called as forecast, that in the summer we may have to produce some 10,000 units of swimsuits, and once we go into the winter, we will stop producing all the uh, winter wear, and they start producing all the jackets and stuff, etc. So that is based on purely forecasting. Okay, you understood what is forecasting, or what is basically make to stock or make to order? Is it clear, or you want me to explain this again?
Guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask him.
Can you explain once again?
Okay, fine. So let's take an example of chocolates. Okay, let's assume that we want to implement SAP for chocolate manufacturer. Okay, so how they will manufacture basically, or ice cream. Okay, let's say quality walls. So let's say we are working for a quality walls client, and how do they go to the trend? So just somebody tell me what will be the scenario. Is it make to order or make to stock? Just in generic uh, terminology, you can just tell me.
Sorry, Arvind, I didn't get your question. Can you repeat
So,
it once again?
so what does quality walls manufacturer prefer? Is it make to order or make to stock? Make to stock, right? The reason is that nobody will go and order ice creams in bulk to the company directly, correct? Because these are already available in the market, in the stores. And how are they available? They will be available, let's say. So how do they manufacture? Basically, when you go to the quality walls manufacturing unit, right, they will have a proper planning in the summer, winter, and monsoon. They have a particular planning. Okay, summer, if they are producing 20 lakhs ice creams, in winter they will produce only half of them. Okay, and in monsoon it will be much more lesser. Okay, that's how it works. And how does it work? Because they will go or follow the trend of how the sales are happening in summer, how the sales are happening in winter, how the sales are happening in monsoon. Okay, because everybody knows that the ice creams are sold, in bulk quantity or more quantities in summer. The company also will know that they will have to produce more in summers. Okay, and they will produce less in winter because they don't want to waste their products, right? So if they produce more, and if they basically not able to sell them to the customer, then those all will go into the wastage, and it will be lost to the company, correct? So ideally they will produce it in lesser quantity, and even more in the rainy season they will produce it in much lesser quantities. Okay, and when you see these numbers, right, 20 lakh, 10 lakh, or 200,000, right? So how do they arrive to these numbers, right? That is one question. How do they arrive to these numbers, that how much ice creams they would like to produce in summer? So this is all suggested by the system, and that's what we will configure in the system. So we will make system learn to understand the customer, and system will propose that you have to produce only these many units in summer, from this month to, from let's say that March to May, and after May you have to produce only half of them, and after, let's say, September, you have to produce even more half of them. So system will be able to propose all this to quality walls, procurement or production manager. Okay. Okay, is it clear? Make to stock.
So Arvind, so I have one doubt.
Yeah, tell me.
So basically, this won't happen manually, right?
No, nobody will be able to do it. Ideally, if you just think about all the industries. So as I said earlier, 70% of the world, industries are using SAP. And think about Mercedes, BMW cars, or think about ice creams only, or cycles, bikes. Take everything, tissue papers companies. You imagine anything, right? They are like spread over all over the world. And do you think that it can be just managed in Excel sheets? Somebody sitting at, on the Excel sheet, and can they just forecast what is required in all over the world? It cannot happen, right? So
Yeah.
it definitely needs system, right? It can be either Oracle or SAP, but Oracle, as I said, only, I think in the world only 20% of the organizations are using, but SAP is widely used. It's used around by around 70% of the industries because of the integrated modules.
So our quotas will be, creating the system which will be calculating automatically and
Correct.
planning
Yeah. Everything is done by system.
systems.
So that's why we use ERP in the You take any organizations, right? So think about any company. In the mind, if you go to supermarket, you see a lot of pickles. Let it say Priya pickles or Lays chips. Or if you go to pharmacy, all the pharmaceutical industries will use SAP only. 99% of the pharmaceutical industries will be using SAP only to produce their goods because it's widely integrated. Okay, so when they use SAP, they need not, do all the manual activities or the manual calculations. Everything will be proposed by the SAP system, and they just need to follow what SAP says. And by that, what will happen? The accuracy of the product and the number, and also the quality of the product will be intact. It will never change. Yeah. And SAP is like a guidelines to all the workers on the shop floor. Ideally we call shop floor where they manufacture the products, right? That is called a shop floor in general terminology. Okay. On the shop floor, whoever is working, for them SAP is the guideline, that is the rule book. Whatever SAP says, they just follow it blindly, and they will be confident that when they use SAP, they will be confident that nothing is going wrong. So that's why they use the ERP systems.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, now let us only think about make to stock. Okay, and make to order, as it said, make to order. Let's say that you are going to a you know laptop. So let's say that you are working in Accenture. Okay, and Accenture is opening their new office somewhere in Mumbai. Okay, new building, and they are planning to hire around 50,000 employees in Accenture. Now what Accenture will do, they will go to the HP store, and they cannot simply ask 50,000 units of laptops, right? So it is not possible for a store guy to produce to give 50,000 because they will not have that stock. So what what Accenture will do is he will go to either Dell or HP, who will manufacture the laptops and order all those 50,000 laptops with particular configuration of what they need. And by that, what will happen? Basically, Accenture will be in profit because they're directly ordering to the company, right? Business to business, and it will be lesser in price, right? And they will get the stock on expected delivery time. So ideally, what will happen if there are large business to business transactions? So we don't know ideally. I mean, there are a lot of business B2B transactions that is happening in the world, which are at large, amounts, which will, exchange in between. So what we buy is one thing. As an end customer, we will buy some items at the store and at the supermarkets, but ideally B2B is very huge market. So between the companies also they procure a lot. Okay, and that exchange of cash is not small. Even that is very big. So even in those conditions, right? So both the business will have SAP. They will have a SAP, and these business will have SAP, and they communicate in between the systems only. So they talk, and once once they decide the pricing and everything, they raise a purchase order in the SAP system, and everything will be handled through SAP only. That's how it works. Okay, I mean, don't think about it too much. I will explain in future sessions also, but just for your understanding. Okay. But is it did you understand it high level of what is production planning? Okay, let's go to the execution part.
Yes.
Yeah. Now this is one stage, okay, that is planning, and we have execution, where many of the organizations use execution only, because planning is now widely used in IBP or PPDS modules. Okay, there, I mean, very less people are using planning in SAP S/4HANA system. Okay, now what is execution? Okay, let's say that we make cycle. To make a cycle, what all is required? Handle, 1 unit, seat, 1 unit, tires, 2 units, some central assembly, 1 unit, right? So your finished product is cycle. Okay, we call the end product as finished product here. So we call all this as materials ideally. So your finished material is cycle. Okay, and what you are going to use are raw materials. Okay, so these are raw materials: handle, seat, tires. This is an SAP terminology. Are you clear about finished product or finished material and raw materials? Okay. Now, what is central assembly? It can be called as semi-finished material. Meaning, this central assembly itself is having some other components within it. Okay, like central rods, which are basically the 3 rods which will join, chain, okay, and maybe gear if it is a gear cycle. So these 3 raw materials will form a central assembly, which is a finished or finished material. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Any other guy except Gajanan? Is it clear, or you want me to explain in?
Yes.
It is clear, right? So ideally your finished material. So throughout our sessions, right, we will be talking about these things only. This is the main point. Okay, your cycle is the finished material which you are going to produce, or which the organization or the industry is going to produce, and the items which are procured outside. Okay, let's say handles or seats or tires or screws. Okay, screws or nuts, bolts, etc. All these are raw materials. Okay, so how these screws or all these raw materials will be available in the industry? They will procure from outside, from some vendors, from local vendors, right? If you think, I mean, think normally, okay, in general scenarios, if you go to a cycle manufacturing unit, you will see all this separately. Handle is separate, seat is separate, tire is separate, The assembly is separate, screws, everything is placed in some box. So how do they get this? They will buy from somewhere, correct? And the the people, or the store from where they buy, they are called as vendors. Okay, the place from where the raw material is being procured in an organization are called as vendors. Okay, and semi-finished materials will be produced in-house, meaning they will procure all these raw materials, let's say some rods, chain, gear, screws, nuts, bolts, and whatever is required, right, to make this central assembly. They will procure from outside, they assemble it, meaning they fit it, and they call it as central assembly. Okay, so when they do it somewhere on the shop floor inside the manufacturing unit, that is called as in-house production. Okay, if they produce something inside the organization, that is called as in-house production. And when they buy from outside, that is called as procured from vendors or external procurement. Okay, and since this is a finished material and we have a lot of raw materials and semi-finished items which needs to be produced, assembled to form this cycle, we call this E column as bill of materials, which is BOM. Okay, this is called as BOM. Any questions about the BOM? Can somebody just explain, take some example of your day-to-day life, object, and tell me like what is the finished product there and what are the bill of materials, high level?
Guys, try to interact. Okay. If you interact, you will definitely get clarified your questions as well as the understanding also will be very clear. Just utilize the opportunity to explore yourself.
Yeah, that's fine. So maybe I will take another example. Okay, let's not take cycle. Take a laptop, for example, which is available at your desk, right? Currently, you are watching this on your laptop. So your laptop is a finished material. So it can be Dell or HP or whatever company has manufactured it. So just imagine and tell me some raw materials what they have used to manufacture this laptop. Anybody can give anything. What raw materials they might have used to produce this?
A battery and RAM,
Processor.
Yeah,
processor,
yeah,
and what is it? The laptop screen guard. Okay,
yeah.
and laptop charger.
Perfect.
Or like motherboard.
Motherboard is good. So yeah, this is good. So I'm good with this. So until here, let's take it as raw materials. Okay. Now, when you say somebody called it as motherboard, correct? Now, motherboard itself is a big component, and within motherboard there are many other items. Correct? Within
Yes, yes.
motherboard there are diodes, transistors, cables, and many other stuff. Correct? So what has happened? They might have produced this motherboard earlier. Okay, these battery, RAM, processor, these are all raw materials. Directly they will procure from somewhere and they will fit it in the laptop. But motherboard itself is again a semi-finished product, right? They will procure all these raw materials first, diodes, transistor, cables, etc., and then they purchase a plate, they fix all these diodes and other stuff on the plate, and they make it as motherboard. Correct? And let's think that, and this will become a semi-finished. Right? All these are raw materials. And this is the finished product. Okay. Is it clear, or anybody want any other example on this? Because without understanding this is basically the very basic concept of production execution. So I would like everybody to understand what is this concept. Okay.
It's clear.
Yeah,
It's clear.
hi Arvind. Actually, here just wanted to know like
Yeah.
this raw material and semi finish you're differentiating, right? So here raw materials, 5 items are there, so they will directly procure it, right? They won't assemble those. They'll directly procure.
Yeah.
Semi-finished motherboard only they will procure, and along with that diodes, transition cables, and all they will that also they'll procure and they'll make it motherboard, right? That is called semi-finished.
Correct. So ideally they will not procure motherboard, they will only procure these things, the ones in yellow. Okay.
Yeah,
And
okay.
they make motherboard. I mean, I'm just taking it an example. They may actually not produce, because Intel and AMD, there are only very less organizations who produce motherboards. But taking for example, okay, this itself is another big component, right? So this is also made out of many other raw materials. So if they are making it in-house, that they call it as semi-finished.
Okay.
Okay, if they also produce this and also this, so this is semi-finished, and semi-finished will go into the finished material.
Okay.
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 Yeah, for example, let's assume a car, okay, as a finished material. Now on the car there is a dashboard and tires and steering. Only 3 is enough. Okay, tires they will procure, or basically there is nothing to do with the tires, right? They have the tires and fix it. Correct. So this is a raw material. And steering also, they have the steering and they fix it. This is also raw material. And now dashboard will have a screen, okay, buttons, AC vents, mobile charger. So ideally what they will do, they will have to produce this, right? Because they have to assemble lot of items to make this dashboard. Correct? So that's why we call this as semi-finished. They will procure all these things, okay, and fix it at one place, which will be called as dashboard, and that is a semi-finished product. And this semi-finished product will be fit inside a car, which is finished product.
Okay.
Okay, and few semi-finished and few raw materials will directly be placed into the car, so that because they are independent, they don't need any semi-finished products.
Okay.
Yeah, this is basically a simple
Yes.
concept only. Thing is that you will have to relate to the general life scenarios. SAP will work on general life scenarios only. Okay, currently wherever you're sitting, right? You look at anything, 90% of the products, wherever they are manufactured, they use SAP only. Okay, so this is all about the bill of materials. Okay, bill of materials. Now let's think about simple thing, which is called as organization structure. So there is a jargon or a word called organization structure. Now what is organization structure is, now we spoke about all these things, that hero cycles will have the cycle as a product, and they have bill of materials, they put all this somewhere and they assemble it. Correct. But where do they do it is a question, right? They do it in the plant. Okay, let's say that they have a plant in Hyderabad. So this is one plant, exact plant. Okay, so in the organization structure, at least from PP point of view, our first org structure is plant. And inside the plant, as we saw here, we make cycles and we have all these raw materials in the plant, correct? So all those raw materials will be located in a storage location, or they call it as inventory. Okay. So when you go to some industry, right? So they will place everything in one some storage location, correct? There will be inventory or the store where there will be a inventory manager, and whenever there is a requirement of particular material, the shop floor will go with an indent, meaning a paper and pen. I mean, there will be a receipt where there will be written about the bill of materials of what they need to produce a particular product. Okay, they sign and give it to the delivery store or the storage location in charge, and that guy will check that particular list of raw materials like this to produce a cycle, maybe like two cycles they need, into two of all of this, or one cycle they need all this. So he will see this indent, or the request for reservation, and he will hand over all these handle seats, everything to the shop floor guy who will actually do the fitting and all. Okay, so for that they will have to store these items somewhere. So that storage location itself is called as storage location or inventory. Okay, this inventory will be inside the plant. So this is a plant. Okay, and this is the storage location. S-Lock 1. This is for raw materials. Okay. And these are the machineries. These are machines where the people work on the machines. So to work on these machines, they first need some materials, correct? They cannot just go and start doing something. They need some materials. And to have those materials, they need to take a reservation copy from SAP. So there is a process, okay? So automatically reservation copy will be printed from SAP. They will take it to this guy, store in charge, and give it to him. And that guy will read that paper, okay, understand what are required. He will take all the raw materials and give it to this in charge again, machines in charge. Okay, and these guys will process, like say in this scenario, they will take seat, handle, and all these things. So this will be in the shop floor. So he will assemble, and once it is ready, he will send to another department. Okay, let's say quality. Okay, and this quality guy will check if all those things are good. I mean, the produced cycle is good. Even if you go to any, like for example, take any product, right? If you see, there will be a sticker, quality check okay, right? You might have seen it in many places. So those stickers will be printed from SAP, and they will put it on the box or whatever it is, carton. Okay, so that will happen only after thorough quality checks. And how do they do the quality check is basically SAP will propose what have to be done. Okay, and based on that, quality in charge will check. Yeah, somebody is talking. Okay, so they will do the quality checks, and they will approve the quality or reject the quality. Okay, so once they approve the quality, what will happen? These should be going into the sales area, right? So finished goods. This is another storage location. Once they produce the goods, they will put it somewhere in the shop floor. Let's say that finished goods storage location. Okay, so all these places, so all this big place is called as plant. And within the plant, there are few storage locations. Those are called as storage locations. Okay, and inside the storage location also, they can have some bins, or some containers, barrels, drums, etc., where they will place it in the warehouse. Okay, so warehouse is also a organization structure or organization unit. Okay, so the place where they do all this stuff is called as organization structure, and within the organization structure relevant to PP are basically plant, storage location, and warehouse. Okay. Any questions about this concept? Or do you want me to explain this again? I know this is a little tricky to understand initially, but I think as we go along the process, right, you will feel it very easy because you can relate it to many products, right? So try to understand this stuff. Yeah. Any questions until here? Or what do you think? Is it like easy to understand, or do you feel difficulty in understanding this topic?
No, Arvind, but actually you are giving very good examples, practical examples. But when we thought of taking that tool in charge and try to implement it, then we can get to know what are
Yeah,
the
yeah,
things we
you're
need to do.
absolutely right. Yeah, yeah, that is true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Before we go into SAP, right, I just wanted you to understand what are we going to do in SAP, because right from day one, going into the system will not make sense. First, we need to understand what are we going to, I mean, see in the system. That's why I'm using this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also one thing, like basically our role and
Hmm.
as the SAP PP and SAP
Hmm.
QM. So
Yeah.
our role basically would be like what would be our role, like
I will tell.
for processing and quality check, or how it is related?
Okay, I will tell you. That's a very good question. Uh, so, what will be your roles? Okay, there are many roles. So these are the four roles I can look up to. Okay. First thing is SAP implementation consultant or rollouts consultant. Okay. You can remove this role. I will explain what is rollout. So implementation consultant. What does this mean? Basically, if somebody want, for example, say, let's go to this hero cycles. Hero cycles. If hero cycle company want to implement SAP in their organization, they will call some pre-sales guys, okay, and they will ask what features they can offer for make to order and make to stock and execution and all of those scenarios, okay, and the pre-sales guys will explain once the project is in hand, okay, once let's say that you work for some company called, let's take an example, just assuming Accenture, okay, so implementation consultant or all support consultant will be a part of service based companies like Accenture, TCS, Wipro, and hundreds of companies. Correct? Many service based companies are there. So what these service based companies will do is they will go to the clients like Maruti, okay, or say what Cello, Milton, Hero Cycles, uh, bikes, etc. And they will tell them that we will be able to implement SAP solution for your manufacturing process or sales process, everything, right? Finance, transactions, everything. Okay, and when and they will give their demo and other stuff. Okay, and once everything is okay, project is okay, then an Accenture or somebody will have consultants who are called as implementation consultants. Okay, who will go to the client, to these companies directly on the shop floor, talk to the super users, or let's say that production or whatever managers, right, to understand how do they work on day-to-day life in the industry, in the company, in the shop floor. Okay, and they try to implement all those steps in SAP so that everything is automated. They need not do any manual activity on the floor. Okay, so maybe by once we finish 10 days of our training session, right? By then you will understand what is consultant role, implementation consultant role. Okay, once we go into the system, you will automatically understand consultant role. They will do configurations. Okay, customizations. If there is any custom developments, they will do custom dev with the help of the ABAPs. Okay, and after that, they will help user, they will test. Okay, and they will help the user to perform user acceptance test, and then they do the cutover activities, and then they do the go live and support. Okay, so this is a general role of consultant. It's too many technical jargons, but it is not too complex when we actually do it. Okay, yeah. And what is the customer? What is the AMS? Okay, or support. This is maintenance support, and what will you do? Let's say that, as I said, that somebody wants to produce a cycle, produce 100 cycles. Okay, and they have all these raw materials. Now they want to add some specific type of bell. Okay, let's say electric bell to the cycle, but in the current bomb it is not there. Okay, so what do? They need some help, right? On the shop floor, these guys are in the shop floor. Okay, who will use this system, and they will have all these items in the store. Okay, and when they go to the store, they will give all these items, but the electric bell is not in the list. Correct? So they wanted this also to be printed as a part of reservation for that order. In that case, they need this to be added to the production order or the process. Okay. So what do? They need somebody to help them. So who will help is basically these guys, support guys. They will raise a ticket whenever they are stuck somewhere. Okay. And the ticket will come into the SAP support team, and somebody will pick it up and understand what is his issue. If required, they will talk to him, take a call, and talk to him, and he will understand the issue, and he or she will basically fulfill that need of the business user. Okay, now because he wanted here in this case, as I said, he wanted to add the electric bell to this bill of materials, right? He will go to some transaction, add this, and say to the customer, we have added, please check and confirm, and the user will confirm, and the ticket is closed. That's what is this support consultant. Okay, now in-house consultant. So in many of the organizations, what will happen is, especially in pharma and other consultants, right? They have one module consultant each, although they have vendors like Accenture, TCS, Wipro, but still they have one consultant in-house, okay, who is handy, who will be traveling or who will be going to the shop floor in person and will help them. Okay, so that's the reason they will have in-house consultant who has understanding of both SAP and business. Okay, so these guys will also work in service based. Okay, these guys will work in product based companies like Hero, Mercedes, okay, or any other pharma, chemical industries. Okay, got it? And finally, SAP user, which actually is not your goal. Okay, so when I say that service based, in the AMS support, somebody will call for help and we will go for help, right? So ideally, the guys who will call for help are business users. Okay, they know SAP, but not to lengthy extent, okay, not to deeper extent. So they will not have the deeper knowledge of it. So they can do the transactions, but they don't know how to resolve if there is any issue. So they will be SAP users and they will also work on the shop floor in a product based.
Okay.
Yeah. So our aim should be these. Got it?
Yeah.
Our aim should be for these three roles. Okay. Now, coming back to organization structure, right? So the place where they produce all these things is called as plant. Okay. And the place where they store all these materials is called as storage locations here and here. S-log is just a short form, storage location. Okay. And there are some machines inside it. There is a quality team. There will be sales team, finance team. Okay, there are a lot of teams inside. So everything will be managed by different teams. So the work what production planning and quality management team will be done on the shop floor on this shop floor area. So all these guys are relevant to production planning and the quality team is relevant to quality management. Okay. Any questions about the org structure? I hope everybody understood what are the plant, storage location, and warehouse. So plant is basically, the industry units where they have some, like many industries will be present in across multiple geographies, right? Hyderabad, and then they will have Bangalore, they will have in Spain, USA, etc. Like for example, say H&M as an example, right? So they will have manufacturing units in Bangladesh, Vietnam, etc. also. So from everywhere, if somebody from the higher level, if they want to track what is happening in each country, he cannot open, SAP system, sorry, Excel sheets, or he cannot ring to somebody to understand what is happening there. So they just need one system where everything is visible, right? Usually all these big organizations, head offices are in either in Europe or in USA. So from USA, if they want to see what are the sales or what if the Bangalore plant is in profit or loss, or how many orders are there in Chennai plant, they cannot just see. I mean, just ring to somebody and ask what is the situation over there. Correct? So they will just open a SAP system and there will be few reports which will explain them what is happening in the particular plant. So they will compare in that way. So that's the reason they will have SAP implemented in their industries. So centralized database will be there for all the modules. Okay, let it be sales or materials management, production or finance. So centralized database will be there, and there will be proper reporting systems, which a president of the company or a vice president or some directors or some sales head can take, can open the report and see and understand what is the future forecast for each country, or how much, whether they want to install a new plant in some area or not, because if the sales are too high in some area like Spain, okay, for example, say, and they are producing some 10,000 clothes in their H&M unit currently per day, and their actual demand is 20,000. So what they will do based on these reports, they will start understanding that there is a huge demand in Spain, so they need to open a new plant to produce another 10,000 more units per day. So that's how SAP will be used, and all the centralized reporting will be viewed by the leadership in all the manufacturing units. Okay. Any questions until here? Did I confuse you, or is it too complex to understand? What do you think? Any suggestions?
Yeah, and actually, I guess what is the thing is like we are new to this tool, right? So it is taking bit time to understand.
Okay. See, ideally, what is my plan is even tomorrow I am not going to open the system and show you. I am going to explain the same thing again because today you might have understood little bit about this, right? Tomorrow I will elaborate the same stuff again to help you understand with more realistic examples. And I want help to be interactive. Okay. So I ask some simple things like how do you produce a car? Okay. What do you need to produce a car? So I need some answers from you so that it will be interactive and you will also relate to the real life scenarios how SAP can be used because SAP is nothing but whatever you see on your room or wherever you're sitting, right? I believe at least 80% of those products are being manufactured in SAP used industry. Okay, so that's how you can relate easily whatever you see, right? So when you see classmate notebooks, because you may use classmate notebooks a lot, right? So that, or let's say like if you go into the what your washroom, you see hindware sanitary or jackware sanitary, whatever you take, okay, everything, every unit will be produced using a SAP driven planning or SAP driven modules only.
Mm-hmm.
One thing is that you will have huge opportunity because there are a lot of job openings because everybody will use this tool to basically plan their resources. Okay, resource meaning again, as I said, it is sales, finance, everything, production, quality, everything is resource. Okay, I think it is too much for today, but we have 15 minutes. Anybody can I mean, come up and say, what did you understand? Like, what is a plant or what is a bill of material? Anybody can take any question, and if you want to relate to your existing real time scenarios, you can just brainstorm.
Even it might, maybe they need some time. So what we can do, same thing we can discuss in next session so that
Yeah.
they'll just go through this video. Once again, guys, it's a request from my side. Just try to utilize his time as well as his knowledge. Okay.
Yeah,
And
I would say it is not actually complex, Subha,
yeah, it's
because
not complex for us. Yeah, it can be easily understandable.
yeah,
Only thing, this is the first session, right? They might, think whether they would like to open up or not. So that might be the thing.
yeah.
Okay. So what we can do, guys? So tomorrow is Sunday, so we don't have a session. So tomorrow session is nothing but Monday. Okay, from Monday we'll continue. So I'll share this video with you guys. Just go through it and come up with the questions if you have any questions.
Yeah, and just
Please.
one request from my side. Just before coming to the next session, right? Go to the Google and try to understand what is finished material, what are raw materials, what are semi-finished materials. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure.
That will help me to explain you easily in the next session. Let's take more real life scenarios, more realistic scenarios, and I will same thing again. So I think let's take over 2 or 3 sessions because once we go into the system, it's all easy. It's not big rocket science. Okay, the same thing we will put it in the system. So before we go there,
Okay.
we will try to be thorough in the business process first.
Mm-hmm. Arvind, how many sessions do we take to get an understanding, deep level understanding for this tool?
So we are planning for 45 sessions, and I think by 10th or 12th session you will understand totally what you are doing. Okay, and rest of the sessions will be related to how do we map all these processes in the system.
Okay.
Okay, by 10th, I think even before 10th session, you will be understanding like perfectly, or you will understand exactly what is SAP and what is PP inside it, and why do we. It will be very easy to understand, and you will be able to relate to the every product, right? Of what
Yeah.
you see to understand like how this can be implemented in SAP. because everything has been implemented in SAP already. That's what I'm saying.
Arvind, actually, I want to highlight one point
Yeah.
related to this PP. Actually, I'm into basis module.
Okay.
Compared to that, this is really, I mean, when you're explaining, right, it is really understandable. Like,
Yeah.
it's easy to like straightforward. It is getting into my brain. But when I used to work in basis, even there I got trained. But that is fully technical.
Yeah, that I understood because
Which
yeah.
a lot of difference is there.
Correct. And one thing is, I mean, you don't need to have a code knowledge for this.
Yeah,
We don't do any coding for function. So these are all functional
functional
roles.
modules. Yeah,
Yeah. So ideally there are two things, right? Technical and functional. So this
exactly.
is a functional module. So no need to code. Okay. No need for coding skills for this. You just need to understand. That's all. Understand the process. And the process is basic. What we do in general life is the process. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, as you said, guys, here also I would like to highlight one thing. So, as he explained right today, so if you are, if you understand properly these terminologies, I don't think so. You will have other new terminology most of the time, right? So
Correct.
mostly you will use these keywords or technical words when you are going to face the business people or clients, we can say. It will be very easy, guys, and the way how he is explaining also, it's that's a
We
matter.
can
Okay.
relate it to real-time scenarios. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what, guys. So definitely you will not get this kind of training from any other institute. Mostly, guys, it's I can say 90% times you will not get this kind of training content the way how he's explaining. So that's why even I'm also pushing from my side whenever there is a requirement. Yeah, Arvind, if you want to add anything, you can add. Otherwise, we will wind up the session. I
Right.
think it will be, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm looking forward for you. I mean, to join the session on Monday. So
Yeah.
hope everybody will join. Just join and understand the sessions. Okay, you will feel better, and you will, you will relate the things. Once you start relating these things, I think it will be very easy for you guys. And there are a lot of opportunities outside because this is used everywhere, right? Without I mean, without manufacturing, you cannot have anything in the stores or anywhere. So manufacturing is important ideally. So you have a lot of opportunities outside. Try to understand, relate things, and then learn this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, hi Arvind, I have a query. Like,
Yeah.
let's say we are manufacturing one car, and in under this bill of materials, we have multiple things actually. Okay,
Right.
in that initially we included normal camera, front cam and back cam for that.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
80% this production and also procurement, everything is done.
Yeah.
At the 90% stage,
Yeah.
if new technology like 360 degrees camera, if they are planning, means how this SAP will deal with that?
So you have, I'm not sure if you already have SAP knowledge, right? So what they can do is there are two things, okay? One thing is they can either change the bill of material, okay, and read the master data again, or they can add that, I mean, they can substitute basically, they can remove that particular, you say, what is that you said? Screen, right?
Camera, yeah.
Camera,
It is,
yeah. So
Registered.
they can just remove that camera from the bill of material of that particular order, okay, or orders, and they can add a new item. That is one possible way. Other way is basically they add a, I mean, they will change the BOM itself and they read the master data onto the production order if the production order has not been started. Okay. And once they read the production order, what will happen is the old BOM will be wiped off and the new BOM will be loaded on the production.
Okay. Mhm.
That's how they do it.
Okay.
Or a substitute process. They, if they don't want to, have it totally like in generic to the total bill of material, they just go to that particular customer order customer or the production order, and then they just delete that only one bomb item and they add a new item, which is the latest camera, right? So that's how they do it.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Any other questions from other guys?
Arvind, it seems to be like I'm remembering my MBA marketing skills. So, like,
Definitely, because what will happen, uh, so when you're a SAP consultant, it's just not the technology that you know. You should have good marketing skills also to sell your answer, right? So there will be business users, and you say something and they may not agree, but it's just that you will say the same thing in some other way, and they will agree for the same. So that how it's work. I mean, it will work everywhere. I mean, it's not just in SAP everywhere. It's working like that, right? Even with the banks or any other stuff. But yeah,
yes,
it's
yes.
all same stuff.
Especially from OMC, Ban Prakash. I'm expecting few questions from you guys because you guys, especially Banu, you don't have much experience, right, in IT. So that just try to understand. If you have any questions, feel free to ask questions. Okay, otherwise you can reach out to me anytime.
Oh, okay, sir.
Yeah, that's all, guys. If you don't have questions, then we are good to end up the session for today, and we'll catch up on Monday at the same time, 8:30. Okay.
Sure. Thanks, Subaru, and thanks, Arvind. Thanks for the session and all. It was a great session. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, thank you all, guys. Happy weekend.
Have a-
Thank you.
Yeah.